Hi, welcome everyone to our holiday recipes and DIY series. So today we are talking about one of my favorite and super easy ways to make a nice gift for a friend, a neighbor, yourself. It's a little bit of pampering in the sugar scrub that we're going to make today. So what you need: sugar, coconut oil, and I'm going to talk about the variations that you can use for this sugar scrub. And then you need some oils of your choice. And I'm going to make one that's very fall scented. It's one of my favorites that I love fall through Christmas. It's a really nice combo of spices. So we're going to dive into this today. So first you start with 3/4 cup sugar. I pre-measured this in a Pyrex bowl, makes it just easy. But 3/4 cup sugar. You can use any kind of sugar. If you want to use coarser sugar, you can. If you want to use fine sugar, you can. I like fine sugar personally for a scrub because I like to use these for shaving, for under my pits, for, your hands. If your hands are really dry, it's a great way to keep by your kitchen sink and just have a little bit of it after you wash your hands and just kind of rub in, and it adds some extra moisture during the season. But you also get a little bit of gentle exfoliation as well. Next, you need 1/2 cup of coconut oil. Now, I prefer to use solid coconut oil because I don't like my sugar scrubs to be soupy. And a lot of times, if you make it only with fractionated coconut oil, it can get really, really soupy and thin. So I like a little bit of substance in it. And with it being so cold outside and just cool in general, if you only have solid coconut oil, it might get to where it's rock solid as it is in a jar. So this is what I prefer. It's organic virgin coconut oil, chemical free, unrefined. So you still get some coconut aroma in it. And it's cold pressed. So this is my favorite. And this is always what I love to use for health benefits because you get the coconut aroma, but it's also not processed. It really is what it is. Then I also use the fractionated coconut oil from doTERRA. So having this on hand with a pump is really, really helpful. But what I did is I pre-melted what I needed in my Pyrex jar, and you just pour it on your, and I added a little bit more than 1/2 cup, so I'm not gonna fill it all the way. You pour it in your bowl, and then literally it's just stir and mix for consistency. And I'm gonna show you guys the best I can to see the consistency of what you really want it to look like. So again, it's 1/2 cup of sugar to, 3/4 cup sugar to 1/2 cup of your coconut oil. So this is really the consistency that you want it. You want it to be lumpy. It almost looks like mashed potatoes. That is my best way to describe it, is mashed potatoes before they get creamy. And that's how you want to leave it, really. You don't want to add more solid coconut oil because as it cools, it'll just become rock solid. Now, one of my little tips and secrets is I do a handful of pumps. I just kind of estimate of fractionated coconut oil so that there's a variety of coconut oil in here, and there is some coconut oil that is not going to get solid. So I probably did about 10 pumps from the container. Mix that in the best you can. Now the best part. I'm going to do 4 drops of Cassia, 4 drops of Clove. So Clove was the free product of the month this month. This is a great way to use your clove. So 4 drops of Cassia, which is a much sweeter, more subtle cinnamon. It's taking a minute to come out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice that I drop all around the entire bowl. And also notice that I'm using a silicone stir and a glass bowl. It's just safer to use your silicone and your glass when you're using oils. If you chose a citrus oil, you definitely would want, a lot of times I'll make this with like orange too. And if you have a citrus, you'll definitely want to use glass and silicone as well, because the citrus would just eat away at any plastic. And then I'm going to do 3 drops of ginger. If you aren't a huge ginger fan, I would do just a little less, but it's so nice the nice combo. So again, that was 4 drops of clove, 4 drops of cassia, and 3 drops of ginger. And then I just spread it out in different areas in the sugar scrub. You mix it really, really well together. It just smells like holiday spice. Like it's just yummy. So good. I'm gonna be setting this one by my sink in the kitchen. And I'll be mixing up some more for gifts as it gets closer to Christmas, I know. So that is the consistency that you want. It looks like mashed potatoes right here with your sugar and your coconut oil. And then the final step is literally just transfer it to some sort of cute decorative jar. You can use a mason jar. I like to put thin ribbon around the outside of the jar. I always put labels on top just so people know exactly what this is, because sometimes they look at it and they're like, I don't know what that is or what I can do with it. So a label is helpful. And then a ribbon, make it super cute. Another thing to look for is you want to get a pretty wide mouth jar. This isn't the widest that you can get, but you want something that you can stick a few fingers in, because as this is solid, you're going to be putting your fingers in to scoop it out, or a small spoon. So you want to make sure that it's a wide enough jar that you can get your hands inside of it. So that is just a pro tip. I've done sugar scrubs before that don't have a wide opening, and it's a problem. So one other optional thing that I'm not going to do today for time's sake is you can incorporate color into all of these sugar scrubs. And it's a fun way if you want to layer it, make it look like candy corn. If you want to do a peppermint sugar scrub and have red and white candy cane layers, you definitely can. The next step here is you would just you would separate your sugar scrub that you've already made. You put it into 2 separate bowls. You would add the coloring that you want to add and mix that together, and then literally just layer and pack it down in your jar. It's a really nice display and it's really, really pretty. I just am not going to be doing that for a time's sake today. I also really recommend dye-free, very just sustainable dyes whenever you are using dyes, because remember, like, everything here is ingestible. If you have kids, if you have pets and they got into it, you're putting it on your body, it's going in your body. You could literally take a spoon and eat this if you wanted to. And so I wouldn't put something that you couldn't consume in there. And this chemical dyes are just not great for our bodies. And so in the spirit of being healthy, these all come from like beet and turmeric, spirulina, I always say that wrong, spirulina extracts as well, in order to make these dyes. So find some dyes that are just a healthier, safer option if you are choosing to do that, is what I would recommend as well. And this brand is really good. So it's called the Color Kitchen. I got it from Mighty Nest. So thanks everyone for being here today. I hope you learned something new and enjoyed this holiday DIY. Join me over the next few days. I might have some surprises in store for some recipes that I'm doing for Thanksgiving, and how to incorporate essential oils very easily into your holidays. And then we will be back next Monday night, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, for our next DIY episode. Thanks everyone. Have a wonderful week and happy Thanksgiving.